Hi everyone, it's Ren here. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what I, as a male INFJ, think about INTPs. With the premise that INTPs are pretty essential in my life, pretty important, and this is why. Well, the first reason is that I am someone who thinks a lot and someone who has a lot of insights, thanks to INI, and a lot of the time what I struggle with is not necessarily coming up with insights, but making sense of them and trying to see, getting a sense that like my insights are connected, because NI does that, wanting to put them on paper, but sort of struggling to really articulate how they are connected. Get the intuitive feeling that they are connected, and I struggle to articulate how they are connected. And an INTP with strong TI, very strong TI, often is excellent at helping me figure that out. Sometimes the conversation need not be even about why my insights are only loosely connected in my mind. The conversation might just be about the insights, about the content, and as a result of my exchange, my TI sense will have been so sharpened that I'll be able to connect the dots myself. And so as a rule, as an INFJ who I believe anyway, has good TI, nevertheless tertiary TI, it's always very, very important for me to have exchanges with NTPs, INTPs, and ENTPs, because they're just gonna be quicker about articulating the logical connections between the different spots in my visions, in my insights, and help me sort of turn all those like forests that I see and that sometimes they may not themselves see into a garden, you know. And I think that's something that INTPs are just very, very good at, you know. I'm better at like noticing bits of forest that had not been seen before. I'm better at that than at turning them into beautiful gardens to be shared, you know, to be shared with the population, to be shared with people. And I find that like INTPs, I'm not saying that they're not good at coming up with visions, I think they are, but they're also excellent at turning those forests into gardens, because also they have the patience and the intellectual stamina to spend a lot of time gardening with the tools, whereas I do not have as many tools and I do not have as much patience with my poor little tertiary TI, and so exchanges with them, direct or indirect, are always to be prized. And this applies beyond the field of the intellectual domain. I find that a lot of the time being friends with an INTP is useful because you keep feeling that like you are challenged in a way. It's not necessarily good to expect that being friends with an INTP is going to bring you a lot of comfort in your already established convictions. You better be aware that convictions are something that's flexible, malleable, that it's possible to evolve as a person, that it is good to evolve as a person. Because if you're from the perspective, if you espouse the perspective that your convictions are set in stone and that you don't want them to be challenged, which is often a sign of insecurity, and it tends to be proportional to the level of insecurity of a person, well, that's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good set of conditions for interacting with an INTP, because the INTP is going to basically question everything, not from a perspective of wanting to be snarky or provocative. It's just because that's a lot of the time that's how they are. So like why are things, why do you say that? Why do you believe that? Like, it's something that's, with the few INTP friends that I have, or good acquaintances, I do not have a lot of them, but I have some of them, including 2 good friends. There is always this like lurking question in the background. I know that whatever I'm going to say is going to be submitted to some kind of critical lens, and so they're going to shake my convictions, my assumptions. Now you could say that's bad because it just makes us feel more insecure, or it just it's gratuitous. Or you could say any assumption deserves to be critically appraised, deserves to be looked at and questioned, because in answering it, we will refine it, we will make it more profound, we will make it more interesting, and for that I think INTPs are really good, and they keep us, in a way, they keep us alert. to just not taking ourselves for granted, essentially, whether it be intellectually, but also even artistically. In terms of music taste, for instance, I have a friend who checks out. He's quite faithful to the music links that I share on Facebook. He checks them out, and it's a sign also that INTPs are not shallow. They don't tell you I checked it out if they didn't. In fact, it's more likely for an INFJ to tell you that, because they are higher on FEUs. Of course, they will do that because they are afraid of hurting, whereas INTPs don't care. I mean, they care about hurting, of course. They don't want to do that, but they don't care about about using too many sort of flourishes to make sure they might not micro hurt someone. They'll just be as honest as possible, because that's how they are. And you might appreciate that honesty, but at the same time, sometimes you might find it a bit hurtful if you're going through an insecure period, or if you're feeling a bit emotional. And sometimes that even happens to me, given that on average I'm more emotional than an INTP. Sometimes a clash can occur, and I might find myself looking for some sort of emotional reassurance that the INTP is not necessarily going to bring to the table, because to them it will just not make as much sense to do that than just to be super honest about something. And this guy, anyway, who checks out my videos, he checks them out, but whenever he doesn't like a link, he'll be like, "What is this? I don't understand." And they will be looking. In a way, we'll be looking for an explanation as to what I find that's so interesting about this song. Now, there are times when I'm just like, listen, I just like that song, okay? I just like it. And you could call it a guilty pleasure, you can call it whatever. I just like it. And it's true, it happens, and I don't like my taste being questioned. But whenever I'm really comfortable in my shoes and I had a decent day and I'm not on edge or whatever, I know that this is not meant to question me as a person. It's not about me. It's about the fact of liking that song. It's about the song and the fact of liking it, not about myself. But I think for an INFJ, what's going to be hard sometimes is to make sure to always keep in mind that there is a separation between what an INTP is going to question or criticize or critique in the positive sense, and themselves. INTPs don't really care about questioning people. Well, not more than any other person, but they care about questioning convictions and things in general. And as long as you can maintain that sense of separation in your mind between yourself and what you engage in, the situations that you engage in, the things you like, these different things, as long as you can keep that separation in mind, as long as you keep in mind that your sense of self is different from the evolution of your tastes, your convictions, etc., you're not going to be upset, even if you're a very sensitive INFJ like myself, by a discussion with even a slightly punchy, critical, in a positive sense, INTP. It's important for us to keep challenging ourselves. It's important for us to not take ourselves for granted. We often say, we like to say, us INFJs, that we are perfectionists. We hear that all the time. Well, it's fair enough, but in order to be a perfectionist, in order to be a genuine perfectionist, you need to be able to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone. It doesn't make sense to say, I'm a perfectionist in my comfort zone. That's not really perfectionism. You'll improve more if you push yourself out of your comfort zone. You don't have to push yourself completely outside of it, but make little steps to pass the border. And this is where the INTPs will be waiting for you in a way, because they're capable of having the intellectual integrity, the acuity, and the depth to allow us to be pushed outside of our comfort zone in a territory where things might be a little harder, things might be a little tougher, things might be a little cozy and comfortable, but that's also the domain, as in everything, as in sport, as in everything, where we improve. By facing adversity, what does not kill me makes me stronger. INTPs don't kill us, they make us stronger. Okay, right. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know that I could have talked about other things regarding the INTP, but I feel like as a whole, this little piece makes sense. Maybe I'll make some more videos in the future. Okay, see you guys and have a fantastic day, okay? Bye.